Welcome everybody to today's GOT 16 Round 4 Doug Jones League Daily Recap Podcast for January 16, 2023, brought to you by the good folks at Goodyear, makers of Dunlop tires.
Rocket Dogs met Miami Goldfish for a 3-game set in Marlins Park in Miami today, playing on grass. Miami Goldfish won the first game over Rocket Dogs in a squeaker by a score of 3-2. Winning pitcher was Smoltz, losing pitcher was Parnell. Rocket Dogs won the second game over Miami Goldfish in a squeaker by a score of 7-6. Winning pitcher was Kinder, losing pitcher was Perry. Miami Goldfish won the third game over Rocket Dogs by a score of 6-0. Winning pitcher was Luque, losing pitcher was Redman.
Green Sand Beach met Electric Amish for a 3-game set in Baker Bowl in Philadelphia today, playing on grass. Green Sand Beach won the first game over Electric Amish in a blowout by a score of 11-1. Winning pitcher was Santana, losing pitcher was Ostermuller. Electric Amish won the second game over Green Sand Beach in a blowout by a score of 17-6. Winning pitcher was Males, losing pitcher was Glavine. Green Sand Beach won the third game over Electric Amish in a slugfest by a score of 12-7. Winning pitcher was Tavares, losing pitcher was Saucier.
Bombed Redux met Stonehurst Mighty Seasons for a 3-game set in Citi Field in New York today, playing on grass. Bombed Redux won the first game over Stonehurst Mighty Seasons by a score of 4-2. Winning pitcher was Klipstein, losing pitcher was Hansen. In the second game today at Citi Field, before a nice crowd of 31,437 under partly cloudy skies, Charlie Leibrandt pitched a complete game for the home squad but took the loss by a score of 3-1. Winning pitcher was Harshman, losing pitcher was Leibrandt. Bombed Redux won the third game over Stonehurst Mighty Seasons by a score of 4-1. Winning pitcher was Marbury, losing pitcher was Sabathia.
Kentucky Mules met Baby Got Bat V for a 3-game set in Fulton County Stadium in Atlanta today, playing on grass. In the first game in Atlanta today under sunny skies, Ray Brown pitched a complete game for Kentucky Mules but took the loss by a score of 4-2. Winning pitcher was Wallers, losing pitcher was Brown. Baby Got Bat V won the second game over Kentucky Mules in a slugfest by a score of 13-6. Winning pitcher was Hildebrand, losing pitcher was Kramer. Kentucky Mules won the third game over Baby Got Bat V in a squeaker by a score of 3-2. Winning pitcher was Valverde, losing pitcher was Gagne.
Hank Lot 6 met Doug Jonestown Massacre for a 3-game set in Cleveland Municipal Stadium in Cleveland today, playing on grass. Hank Lot 6 won the first game over Doug Jonestown Massacre in a squeaker by a score of 7-6. Winning pitcher was Hearn, losing pitcher was Ward. In the second game today at Cleveland Municipal Stadium under cloudy skies, Eddie Plank pitched a complete game for Hank Lot 6 to give his team a 15-3 victory over Doug Jonestown Massacre. Losing pitcher was Sewell. Joe Carter went 4 for 5 with 2 home runs and 3 RBIs for the visitors. Doug Jonestown Massacre won the third game over Hank Lot 6 by a score of 7-0. Winning pitcher was Losi, losing pitcher was Waddell.
Plymouth First Comers met BOD Game of Thrones for a 3-game set in Busch Stadium in St. Louis today, playing on grass. In the first game in St. Louis today between Plymouth First Comers and BOD Game of Thrones before a large crowd of 47,008 under sunny skies, Leon Day pitched a complete game for the home squad to give BOD Game of Thrones a 10-4 victory over Plymouth First Comers. Losing pitcher was Clemens. In the second game today at Busch Stadium under sunny skies, Bert Blyleven pitched a complete game for Plymouth First Comers but took the loss by a score of 3-1. Winning pitcher was Burley, who also pitched a complete game, losing pitcher was Blyleven. BOD Game of Thrones won the third game over Plymouth First Comers by a score of 4-1. Winning pitcher was Rommel, losing pitcher was Zito. Got 16 RD4 Doug Jones League Day's best performers were Carter, Joe, who had the best RC performance today for Hank Lot 6 in the second game today at Cleveland Municipal Stadium. He created 4.8 runs on 4 hits, including 2 home runs and 1 double, and Mark Burrell, who had the best game score today for BOD Game of Thrones. He scored 76.0.
Here are the current standings. In the East Division, Miami Goldfish has a record of 56-55 and has a lead over Kentucky Mules, who has a record of 55-56. Plymouth First Comers has a record of 55-56. Hank Lot 6 has a record of 52-59. In the Central Division, Rocket Dogs has a record of 56-55 and has a lead over Baby Got Bat V, who has a record of 55-56. Electric Amish has a record of 52-59. Stonehurst Mighty Seasons has a record of 47-64. In the West Division, BOD Game of Thrones has a record of 67-44 and has a lead over Green Sand Beach, who has a record of 64-47. Got Bombed Redux has a record of 57-54. Doug Jonestown Massacre has a record of 50-61.
Here is your GOT16 RD4 Doug Jones Injuries Report. For Baby Got Bat V. Wilkins, Rick, out for 2 more days, 2 more games. For BOD Game of Thrones. Semi-Nick, Andy, out for 3 more days, 3 more games. For BIC's Boys, got 16 RD4. Bohannon, Brian, out for 6 more days, 6 more games. For Doug Jonestown Massacre. Losi, Kyle, out for 10 more days, 9 more games. For Final Failures. Westbrook, Jake, out for 16 more days, 15 more games. For Got Bombed Redux. Stibe, Dave, out for 3 more days, 3 more games. For Got Cha 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 4. Kiner, Ralph, out for 1 more day, 1 more game. Drew, JD, out for 1 more day, 1 more game. Bartell, Dick, out for 5 more days, 5 more games. For GOT Morlocks 4. Harder, Mel, out for 5 more days, 5 more games.
Here are the current batting leaders. The home run leader is McGuire, Mark from PFC, who is 37. The top run scorer is Allen, Dick from KM, who is 85. The top RBI producer is Berger, Wally from OPC, who has. The highest batting average belongs to Jeter, Derek from MGF, who has .327. McGuire, Mark from PFC, has the most runs created at 87.30. The stolen base leader is Morgan, Joe from DJM, who has 30. The most game-winning RBIs is from Averill, Earl from BGB, who has 14. The longest current hit streak belongs to Tejada, Miguel from GSB, who has hit in 13 straight. The longest hit streak belongs to Jeter, Derek from MGF, who hit in 21 straight. Here are the current pitching leaders. The ERA leader is Burley, Mark from BGO at 3.07. The top game winner is Burley, Mark from BGO, who has 17. The strikeout leader is Waddell, Rube from Art, who has 170. The highest number of complete games belongs to Glavine, Tom from GSB, who has 9. Burley, Mark from BGO, has the most innings pitched at 223.0. The saves leader is Gagne, Eric from BGB, who has 19.
Here is tomorrow's schedule. Green Sand Beach is at Plymouth First Comers in Fenway Park, 1946-1950, in Boston. Electric Amish is at Miami Goldfish in Marlins Park, 2015-2019, in Miami. BOD Game of Thrones is at Baby Got Bat V in Fulton County Stadium, 1991-1995, in Atlanta. Doug Jonestown Massacre is at Rocket Dogs in Wrigley Field, 2017-2021, in Chicago. Kentucky Mules is at Stonehurst Mighty Seasons in Citi Field, 2009-2011, in New York. Got Bombed Redux is at Hanks Lot 6 in American Family Field, 2017-2021, in Milwaukee. Thanks for listening to today's recap. For the best classic fantasy baseball game on the market, visit imaginesports.com. Good night all and see you soon.
the Scooter, the Barber, and the Nuke. They knew 'em all from Boston to Dubuque, especially Willie, Mickey, and the Duke. Well, Casey was winning, Hank Aaron was beginning, one Robbie going out, one coming in. Kiner and Midget Goodell, the Thumper and Mel Parnell, and Ike was the only one winning down